Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karnalayam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Putra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. We will chant first 5 verses of Gurustam and the last verse. Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Shri Namaha. Thavaram Jangamam Vyaptam Yatkinchit Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapiyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva. So we have learnt different chantings. Now take page number 6. We had done in that Mahamrityunjay mantra and Gayatri mantra. We will chant that together. Om Tikam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiv Bandhanan Mrityormukshiyamamritat. Om Bhurbhuvassuvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. So the next one is what we generally chant at the end of any class, but it is generally meant for, it can be used in Havan or any other place where we pray for the well-being of everybody. So the Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, that portion actually comes before this Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam. So when we chant in the order, then we chant this first. Jana Kalyana mantra we chant first, then we chant the Prarthana mantra, and then Asatoma, and then Purnamada. So we will learn it in that order also. Oh, sorry, it is this way only. Swasti Prajabhya only comes first, correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, the same order we chant, correct. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु above bha you have to put that half raka matra. It should be swastir bhavatu, not swasti bhavatu. Om sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramaya. Not only this bhuloka, we believe there are 7 lokas above, 7 lokas below. And that is in one Brahmanda. There are countless Brahmandas like that. So in all the lokas, all the beings, whoever are there, may they all be happy. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Kale varshatu parjanyaha. Rains must happen at the right time. Prithvi sasya shalini. And earth must be green. Deshoyam kshobarahita. Our country must be free from drought and troubles. Brahmana santu nirbhayaha. The Brahmanas must be fearless. Meaning they should be able to practice the spiritual knowledge and impart it to people and transform their lives for the higher cause. There should not be any fear that if we do this, we would be punished or there would be people who would oppose us. They should be able to practice without fear. The Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. May everybody have auspiciousness. Shantir Bhavatu. May they have peace. Purnam Bhavatu. May they have fulfillment. Mangalam Bhavatu. Auspiciousness. May all be happy. May all be free from diseases. Niramayaha. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. May everyone see what is good, what is auspicious. Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. May nobody be experiencing misery. Then the next one. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya. Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma Mritam Gamaya. So from untruth to truth, please lead us. Asatoma Sadgamaya. Ma means mam, me. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. From darkness, please lead me to light. Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. From death, lead me to immortality. So this is from this mantra specifically is from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. These other two, what we just chanted, they are not Vedic mantras. They are written by some person. And the next one also is a Shanti mantra from the Ishavasya Upanishad. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. It's a very famous mantra. Purnamadaha. That is Purnam. Purnamidam. This is Purnam. Purnam udachyate. This Purnam, this world which is Purnam, came from that which is Purnam. Purnat Purnam udachyate. From this, if you remove that, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnamevavashishyat. Purnam only remains. From Supreme, if you remove the world, what will remain? Supreme only will remain. That is Purnam. This one mantra comprises the whole gist of Vedic philosophy. Purnamada Purnamidam, full. At some time we will see that. So these are the beautiful mantras. Shanti mantra, generally we chant all this from Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam till Purnamada, full. Okay, so we are on lesson 12 now. And so lesson 12 introduces us to 6 schools of philosophy. So in our culture it is called, in Vedanta it is called Darshana Shastra. Darshan means a vision. So these 6 schools of philosophy are different standpoints about the truth. Why should there be 6 different standpoints? See, that which is very subtle, which is beyond body, mind and intellect, is not very easy to perceive, and different points in time, different people have thought about it in their own way, and these different schools of philosophy have come about. Even for that which is perceptible, we don't have standardization. You think about it. So many people will say so many things about a simple thing. Should I drink milk or not? Arey Rama. How much confusion about that? Milk, ghee. At some point they will say, no, don't take it. No other animal takes the milk of any other animal. Only human being takes. Then at some point in time they will say, no, up to 12 years you can take. After that you don't need. And they will say, no, calcium is required, so you have to take whole life. Then they will say, no, desi cow's milk is good. Now find one desi cow and some organic tabela, and then simple fact about whether I should take milk or not, how much complication, because each one's body constitution is different, milk constitution is different, how it is taken out is different. And then somebody will say, no, too much animal cruelty is happening, so even if it is good for your body, don't touch it. It will happen because munde matir bhinna, it is said. Each head will have different opinion. And Sunday ratir bhinna. Every Sunday each one will have some different forms of entertainment. So if ordinary things like this, we have so much confusion. To talk about truth which is absolute reality beyond body, mind, intellect, how much confusion will be there? So I'm not saying this is a product of confusion. I'm saying these are different levels of evolution, and each one has thought in their different way. The beauty of our culture is that nobody is condemned as low or bad or rejected or ostracized. Nothing. You have an opinion, you are free to have an opinion. Please have, no problem. That freedom of thought is there in our culture. It's not that you have to believe this only because this is said in the scripture. No. You don't want to believe, don't believe. It's okay. You want to believe something else, believe. But we can still coexist. That's the beauty of our culture. So these 6 schools of philosophy are now, we will see that. In the chapter, they have told you that you don't need to master this. This is being introduced only for understanding, because when we study philosophy, these things will come. Like suppose you study the Gita. In that, some of these will come, the words will come, Sankhya. Now one will wonder, what is this Sankhya? Charvaka. So one wonders, what is this? So just to introduce in a basic way, this is being given to us. There are 2 aspects here. Some people believe that only the Vedic school of thought is to be considered as the darshanas, and some people believe that it is Vedic, non-Vedic, both. So we are going to see that both the differences. What I would suggest is you take straight away this chart on page number 5. There's a chart here. So all knowledge is divided into 2 possibilities. And what are those 2? Secular knowledge and spiritual knowledge. That is simple to understand. Secular knowledge means all the objective knowledge, physics, chemistry, biology, math, science, everything, which is about outside. Spiritual knowledge is that which talks about I, the Jiva, what are the laws in the Jagat, how to live here, and who is the Ishvara, if the Ishvara exists. Some philosophies don't believe Ishvara exists. So Jiva, Jat, Ishwar. One, the knowledge which speaks about all the 3, and that is the spiritual knowledge. Why is it being classified as spiritual knowledge? One is because it is subtle. It requires to turn within. And second is because this division came about of the spiritual knowledge and the secular knowledge, because one speaks only about external things. The objective knowledge doesn't talk about I at all. And without knowing that, who am I, what is my temperament, what is my true nature, fulfillment that human being seeks is not there. And so externally, generally one seeks many things in the world outside, but even after one gets it, one still feels lack of fulfillment, emptiness, all that remains. So when a person turns within, then one experiences that state of quietude, fulfillment, transcendence of the BMI, then that is a great joy, satisfaction. So the pursuits being different, one is extroverted, one is introverted. So this division also has come about. But the point is, we need both. In our daily life, we need both spiritual knowledge and secular knowledge. See, the word secular here means external, objective sciences. Secular is not in the sense of the word we use today as, religion, that beyond government is beyond religion. That is the definition there. It is not meaning that. Here it means outside world, secular and sacred, or secular and spiritual. So in that context. So we need both the knowledge. We cannot live without the knowledge about the world. And we cannot live without the knowledge of the self. This combination was there in our Gurukul system. It is said that when Mughals invaded our country, there were some 7.5 million Gurukuls in our country. 7.5 million Gurukuls, where people used to go, stay, study, and they would get the blend of both the spiritual knowledge and secular knowledge, combination. Then the British removed the spiritual knowledge from our education system. Till today we are struggling to put it back. Our own culture, our own knowledge, our own Vedic heritage, to insert that into our own education system, we have such a big challenge today. Stress, worry, tension, anxiety, depression, all that is on the rise. But we don't want to introduce this knowledge at all, which will empower the mind. So this spiritual and secular both have to go together. Now in this context, today we are not going to go into secular knowledge. That is anyway a field all of us we know, and each one according to the temperament, we take one field or specialize. Spiritual knowledge now is divided into two parts, atheistic and theistic. Now, atheistic and theistic, what is the general definition of atheism? Non-believers, but non-believers in God. No, people not believing in culture, we don't call them atheist. Not believing God, we call them atheist generally. So here it is that from Vedic standpoint, if somebody does not believe in the Veda, does not believe in God, then that person is called atheistic atheist. So two criteria are there for atheism. Belief in Veda, first criteria. Belief in God, second criteria. Okay. So this philosophy is divided into different categories based on this criteria. Belief in Veda and belief in God. Two criteria. So if two criteria are there, how many permutations and combinations are possible? No, between these two, how many permutations, combination possible? 3 or 4? Atheistic atheist, atheistic theist, theistic atheist, theistic theist. 4 categories are possible. So atheistic atheist, meaning one who does not believe in Veda also, who does not believe in God also. So atheistic atheist is called Charvak philosophy, materialism. Charu means very good. Vak means speech. One who has sweet speech. Who will tell you there is no before, there is no afterlife. This one life exists. Khao, piyo aur mauj karo. Who has bothered about next life? Kisne dekha? Did anybody come back and tell you? Why are you struggling so much to live compromisingly? Satyam, ahimsa, brahmacharya. This is all not required. No other animal lives like that. Just eat, drink and enjoy. And go to the extent that take credit but drink ghee. Rinam kritva ghritam pibet. That time drink ghee means you are a very wealthy person. You must have that much of cattle that every day you take out that much of milk and you are able to drink ghee instead of water. I mean, they'll drink water also, but it's like saying that, drink ghee means you are so wealthy. Their philosophy is what I see is real. What is not visible does not exist, full stop. Body is seen. So the pleasure of the body is my pleasure. And who am I? This body. Anything beyond that? No. I am this body, full stop. So belief in one life theory, belief in myself as a body, believe that the goal of life is only enjoyment. And because goal of life is only enjoyment, I don't need to follow dharma, I don't need to follow any values, virtues, nothing. Complete indulgence is the way of life. Goal of life, pleasure. Way of life, indulgence. And today people say this is very simplified way of living. No complications in this. Because God, afterlife, karma, reincarnation, all too complicated. This is so simple. Just enjoy. Do you think Charvak philosophy exists today or not? Solid. Charvak philosophy will always be the majority in the world. Ranam kritva ghritam pibet. Full. Earlier we were not having that much of culture of credit card. Borrow money but enjoy. I'm not saying don't enjoy or don't borrow money, but this attitude when it comes, greed when it comes, then we are gone. So, one thing important to understand here is that materialist is not condemned. Materialism is also accepted as a part of philosophy only. From there only one will evolve higher and higher. So no condemnation happened. That's the beauty of this culture. You may be a materialist, nobody look down, ye to materialist hai. No, I say you also come, we go along. Each one will evolve from where they are. So this is atheistic atheism, materialism, charvak. Then comes atheistic theism. So remember, first criteria is Veda, second criteria is God. So atheistic theism means what? Believe in Veda. Correct. Atheism is first criteria is atheistic theist. So first is Veda. So no believe in Veda and believe in God. Buddhism and Jainism are examples of that, where they will believe in the existence of a reality, higher reality beyond the body. The nature of the reality may be difference of opinion is there in that. But they believe that there is a higher reality different from this body. Charvak believes body alone is the final truth. There is nothing beyond this. But the atheistic theist will believe that there is a higher reality. So the higher reality in Buddhism is of two types. One Buddhistic philosophy is of Shunyavad, where the highest reality is a blank, is a absence. There is nothing. So what they would believe, that when we transcend body, mind, intellect, in that state there is zero. It's an absence. But when we study Vedanta properly, then we understand that how can there be an absence? To know the absence, there has to be somebody or not. If you come here first, there is nobody in the class. You will say, nobody has come. But to say that nobody has come, there has to be some entity. And if you say that nothing exists, that's an oxymoron or not? Nothing exists means nothingness has to exist, meaning somebody has to say that nothing is existing. We all feel our presence or not. I am. Do we feel I am absent? No. That is what Vedanta says, that ultimate reality is a presence. It is not a blank. It is not an absence. So one philosophy, one part of Buddhist philosophy is Shunyavad. Other Buddhist philosophy is Kshanik Vijnanavad, momentary consciousness. So consciousness flashes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes. It's momentary. Each moment it comes, it goes, it comes, it goes. Like with every thought, consciousness rises. When the thought goes, consciousness goes. Again next thought, it rises, again it goes. So it's Kshanik Vijnanavad. No, so they give the example of this candle light, this flame of a candle. Are you seeing the same flame of a candle every moment? No, it is like every moment that flame is born, is dying, is born, is dying. It's continuously changing. But it doesn't look like that. No, it doesn't look like only one flame. In that way, this also, It looks like one, but actually with every thought, this consciousness rises, falls, rises, falls. What does Vedanta say? No, consciousness remains the same. Thoughts rise and thoughts fall. Now you just think how much confusion can be there on this. That what is rising, what is falling, consciousness is rising or thought is rising. That's why different schools of philosophy. So this is Buddhistic philosophy where they believe in existence of a higher reality, whether it's a blank, whether it's a nothingness or whether it is a flickering consciousness. But it exists. But they won't believe in Veda. Jainism also has a concept of ultimate reality. Kaivalya Pada, Kaivalya state is called, it is called. And the Tirthankar will discover that Kaivalya Sthiti. So they also have karma, they also have reincarnation. Buddhistic philosophy also has karma, reincarnation, higher reality. So those parts are common. But the difference is in two aspects. What is the nature of the reality? One is not has agreement on that. Each one has their own different idea. And they don't believe in the Veda. So both of them don't believe in the Vedic knowledge. So many people going into Buddhism today, Buddhistic chanting and all that. See, before we go into any philosophy and accepting it as our way of life, first we should find out what is the ultimate destination of that philosophy. And do I want to reach there? Will we start a journey without knowing the destination? In life, many times. So tomorrow, Sunday, let us say, you say, chalo, long drive we will go. Will you just drive somewhere? Ultimately, you will say, no, I have to come back home. Even if you don't want to reach a particular destination, home is your destination. You will come back home after some long drive. Without knowing the destination, will you even keep going? No, Swamiji, on the way we'll figure out a destination. Chalo, at least figure out on the way. But there are some people who don't inquire only what is the final destination in this. If I follow this particular philosophy, what is the final destination? What is the concept of moksha? I should know or not? No, but I don't want moksha. I just want a better life here. Okay, then very good. Continue. What we are consciously seeking actually is moksha only. Just that we don't know it. At some point when one becomes aware of it, then one will start thinking. So the idea is first I should think. What is the destination promised by different schools of philosophy, and is it what I want to discover? Buddhism rose as a revolt against the degradation in the Hindu culture. We saw that when we spoke about the life of Gautam Buddha. He walked out of Hindu culture because animal sacrifice, caste system, blind rituals, exploitation by the priest class, so many of these were happening. As a revolt, he came out of it. And he didn't preach about the Veda. Actually, he learnt all that because he was a prince, Prince Siddharth. And Kapilavastu he was born in. A Hindu king, Shuddhodhan. You want to shut off the fan? Put it off. So, he had studied the Veda, everything. But he did not know, maybe he was not taught properly about the reality or whatever it is. He walked out of Hindu culture. And Buddhism he founded is what we believe, that Buddha founded Buddhism. But if you go into Buddhistic tradition, the Buddhist tradition says there are many Buddhas before him, there are many Buddhas after. In this Kalpa, it appears that he is the founder of Buddhism. That is one school of thought. Other school says no, the Buddhas have come before him also, so many. So his name is Gautama the Buddha. So Buddhism is an eternal tradition. Same way Jainism also. We say that Mahavir is the founder of Jainism. Mahavir is not the founder of Jainism. Mahavir is the 24th Tirthankar. Rishabdev is the first one. And this Tirthankars also, 24 is in this cycle. There are so many cycles like that of these Tirthankars. So Jainism also believes it's an eternal tradition. So anyway, the point is to understand here that both the philosophies don't believe in the Veda, but they believe in the existence of a higher reality. So they are called atheistic theist. Then comes theistic atheist. Theistic atheist means what? Believe in the Veda but doesn't believe in God. So there are these philosophies, Tarka, Sankhya and Purva Mimamsa. This Tarka is further divided into Vaisheshika school of thought and Nyaya school of thought. Vaisheshika is the Kanada Rishi and Nyaya is the Gautam Rishi. So this Kanada Rishi discovered this atom. Anu, he called it Anu. And Paramanu is a subatomic particle. This Kanada Rishis, you see, we don't even know about Kanada Rishi. We study in our chemistry Niels Bohr model of atom. I forgot which other scientist, but this Niels Bohr stuck into my mind because I used to visualize him as a boar in my childhood. So that is stuck in the head. Niels Bohr, blue color boar. His spelling is B-O-H-R, but as a memory aid, we had to remember so many scientist names, so I used to connect like that. So that model of atom and all we learned from Niels Bohr, but Kanada Rishi discovered atom, nobody taught us. Atomic theory so much before this Niels Bohr. See, 600 BC. See. Such a long time back. And atom and then subatomic particle also he discovered. Anu and then Paramanu and then, so when they say they don't believe in God means what? The fundamental substance of the universe is atom, and from atom everything comes. There is no higher reality. Energy is there in the atom, it is there inside the atom by itself. That's what is the belief, which today also so many scientists believe or not. That by combination of matter, life comes into being. Sentience is a product of matter combined in a particular way, which is what one is trying even today, that to create life, what all factors we need, let us try to bring them all and simulate it in such a way that we are able to create life. Till today, that experiment has not succeeded yet. But the attempt is being made for that only, that by a certain right combination, this reality will get produced. So the atom, that is a Nyaya, this Vaisheshika school. Then comes the Nyaya school. Yeah. Nyaya is an evolution of this only, Vaisheshika, but the different Rishi, Gautam Rishi took it ahead. Subtle differences are there in that. Yeah. Now this is a little technical, okay? Don't ask me details because then you will get very confused. I'm just giving you a small example. So Nyaya accepts 4 sources of knowledge, 4 independent sources of knowledge. Perception, meaning pratyaksha. Inference, meaning anumana. Comparison, that is upamana. And testimony. Arthapatti. I'm not sure about the Sanskrit word of testimony. I'll come back to that. So 4 sources of knowledge. So how do we gain knowledge? Either through direct perception or by inference. That inference also is based on perception only. Like suppose I see that the road this whole place is wet. Then what will I infer? It must have rained. I am not seeing rain happening, but based on the ground being fully wet, I am inferring that rain must have happened. Or I see fire, sorry, I see smoke. I am not seeing the fire, but far away some smoke is rising. Now what do I infer? Oh, there must be a fire there. So this perception is pratyaksha praman, then inference is this paroksha. I infer. Sorry, anuman. Now I am thinking. So this is perception and inference. Then I compare. When I compare two things, then I will get knowledge. This is better, that is better. Properties will compare. And testimony of various people, of whoever has gone through, experienced that. Nyaya will accept 4, Vaisheshika will accept only 2, perception and inference. Nyaya maintains that all reality is comprehended by 16 categories, padarthas. Vaisheshika recognizes only 7 categories. Dravya, Guna, Karma, Samanya, Vishesha, Samavaya and Abhava. So there are subtle philosophical differences in this. One will believe in 16, one will believe only in 7. But basic point is all believe in matter. This Nyaya and Vaisheshika believe in matter, not in consciousness. Hence they are theistic, atheist. Then comes Sankhya. So Sankhya, we have another, so 2 categories again of Sankhya. Nirishwara Sankhya, Kapil Muni, and Saishwara Sankhya is Patanjali. So Kapil Muni is the son of, this story comes in Bhagavat. So Kapil Muni is the son of Devahuti and Kardam Rishi. So Kardam Rishi had 100 daughters and 1 son. He actually wanted to renounce the world. But the wife said, till we get a son who can take care of me, please be with me. So he said, okay. But he got 100 daughters first. And then 1 son was born. And when the son was born, then Kardam Rishi left. The son was there to take care of the mother. And the son is believed to be the avatar of Lord Vishnu, Kapil Muni. And he gave the whole Sankhya philosophy. And he taught his mother also, Devahuti, initiated her into this philosophy, and she also got liberation. What is the belief here? But the Nirishwar Sankhya will say that Prakriti and Purusha both are real. This world is made up of Prakriti and Purusha. And Purusha in each one is different. What Vedanta says, there is one Lord, that one is manifesting in the hearts of all. Here it says no, each one is an independent combination of Prakriti and Purusha. There is no one supreme reality manifesting in the hearts of all. And that's why it is Nirishwara. They still believe in Purusha, but the Purusha is not infinite. Purusha is separate in each jiva. And the concept of moksha is, I should go beyond Prakriti and realize my own Purusha. So myself is different from yourself. The self in each one is different. So that's the philosophy in Sankhya. But it is very logical. That Sankhya means number. So Sankhya means that which is very, very logical. So Kapil Muni is the founder of the Sankhya philosophy. And Patanjali is the Saishwara Sankhya. So that Yoga Shastra that we learn, in that Ishvara Pranidhan is one very important part. In the first 2, Yama and Niyam, one of them will have Ishvara Pranidhan. I think Niyam only has Ishvara Pranidhan, surrender to God. So he brought in actually the concept of God. But their concept of God may not be the concept of God that we believe. So theistic atheism. So what is a Sa-Ishvara Sankhya? The concept of God there is, the nature of God is blank. Huh? Is blank. There is no one form. There is no Sat, Chit, Anand is blank. Buddhists believe in Shunya. Yoga believes in thoughtlessness. That is the ultimate state. Highest state is thoughtlessness, blank. Then why Ishvara is brought in? That Ishvara is brought in to purify the mind. Ultimate state is thoughtlessness. Yama Niyama only Ishvara Pranidhan comes. Ultimate is Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. In Samadhi, what do you experience? Absence of everything, blank. That is Samadhi. So now this is Sankhya philosophy. And then is Purva Mimamsa, which is rituals. Lots of rites, rituals which are done. Ultimate goal of that is what? One must go to heaven. By doing many rites, rituals, etc., one will get lot of punya karma, and that punya karma will make a person go into heaven, and then one will enjoy. So all these philosophies, they are called theistic atheists because they all believe in the Veda, but they don't believe in the highest reality, which is non-dual. So when we say God also, the belief in the non-dual reality, ultimate God is one, and that one is appearing as all this, that based on that this division is done. So that's why you see when we say theistic atheism, they believe in God, this Sankhya believes in God, but in blank. But still it is coming under atheism. Why? Because their understanding of God is very different. If God is not one, if God is many, then how it will work? Or God is a blank. So that's what they believe. So the Sankhya philosophy, one will otherwise get confused, saying they are not believers in God. And how did this come into this category? It comes into this category because of this fact, that they believe in the Veda, but their understanding of God is not one truth. It could be blank, it could be many.
But if you believe in Veda and Veda is helping you realize what is God, then how are those two different, believing in Veda and believing in
Because of interpretation. Because Vedic knowledge, as I said earlier in some classes, Vedic knowledge is not interpreted by everybody in the same way. Like the Mahavakya Tattvam Asi is interpreted in so many different ways by people. Long, elaborate books are written on that to explain their standpoint. And if we read that standpoint, we will be convinced, yes, this is correct. Shankaracharya ji did one thing, that he established the glory of Advait Vedanta by bringing out the limitations of each of these schools of thought through his Upanishadic commentaries, etc. But in general, if one just reads, it is open to interpretation because, as I said, it is very subtle. It is not something which is so gross and tangible. So from which standpoint I am looking, the reality will appear like that to me from that standpoint. So though Vedic knowledge, we say, from Advaitic standpoint, we say that the purpose of Vedic knowledge is to realize Jiva and Brahma are one. But if you read the other schools of philosophy, they will not say that. And they will substantiate the same Vedic line to prove their point. So if I give one example, Asad eva idamagra asit tato vai sadajayata. Now this is one line. That there was nothing in the beginning and then the world was born. This is one interpretation. that the world was not there and then it got created. Other interpretation of this will be there was nothingness, and from nothingness the truth is born. So nothingness is the ultimate, because the word asat means nothing. So now it is the same. One will mean unmanifest state, and from unmanifest it became manifest. Other will say, no, asat doesn't mean unmanifest. Asat means absence, nothing, blank. From there it all started. The line is the same. Or the word Atma, in the Veda, the word Atma is used for so many different things. Atma can be used for the Supreme Self, Atma can be used for body, Atma is used for the mind. For so many different things, Atma word is used. Now the context, if we don't understand properly and we take it out of context to fit what our school of thought is, then there will be a difference of opinion. And hence there is so much of variation. It is not one particular thing. Same Bhagavad Gita, if you see, there is an interpretation of Shankaracharya ji, there is interpretation of Ramanujacharya ji, of Madhvacharya ji also. So Dvaita philosophy, Vishishta Advaita philosophy, Advaita philosophy, all will interpret it. And each one, it will appear that what they are saying is correct. Hence there is a difference. So we were seeing theistic atheism. Purva Mimamsa is the ritualistic part. And a lot of ritualistic part is there in the Veda. Major part of the Veda is ritualism. Only one part of the Veda, the subtlest part, that is what we call Upanishads or the Vedanta. And even today, majority believes what? Action can lead me to fulfillment. That's why we keep on acting, doing so much of work. We can't sit quietly. Through karma only we will get moksha. But what is the definition of moksha here? Purva Mimamsa definition of moksha is go to heaven and enjoy. There is no higher state. There is no reality. There is no absolute truth. If I do karma, I will get result. It is a law of cause and effect. Today it's there or not, people are there or not. Which God, what God, it is nature. You follow rules of nature, you get the result. So God is not required. Purva Mimamsa believes in that. So what do they believe in? Devatas. Please the Devatas, get their blessings, get punya, live a life of goodness here, prosperity, wealth, all that here. And then when you die, where will you go? Go to heaven, enjoy. When your punya karma gets over, again you will come back. That's all. So now you see in the Gita this is mentioned or not? Kshine punya martya lokam vishanti. So now a Purva Mimamsi will quote the same line to say, this is what is said here in the Gita, that at the end of the punya karma you will come down here. But Vedantin will say, see the next shloka. It says, Abrahma bhuvana loka punaravartino Arjuna. From this world to Brahma Lok, everything is temporary and one comes back onto the earth. Mamupetyatu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. One who attains the supreme reality does not have punarjanma. So when we take something selectively out, then we can fit it into our opinion. What is being said in its totality, if we see, then we will come to same conclusion. But how many people are wanting to see the totality and as it is? Each one wants to find a justification of their thought process in what they are studying, which happens to all of us or not. So many things we learn in the Vedanta class. But what we want to accept, that much we will accept. And more often than we accepting and changing our thought pattern, what will we do? We will want it for the other. See, this is for you only. One not just compares, one tells. So most of the time our mind goes through all those things. So there's different schools of thought. So how many we saw till now? 3. Atheistic atheist is materialism, Charuvak. Atheistic theist is who? Buddhism and Jainism. Theistic atheist is Sankhya, Vaisheshika and Purva Mimamsa. Under Vaisheshika, we have Kanada school of thought and Gautam Rishi school of thought, which is Vaisheshika. So under Tarka, we have Vaisheshika and Nyaya. That is Kanada Rishi and Gautam Rishi. Then under Sankhya, we have Nirishwara and Saishwara. Nirishwara is Kapil Muni. Saishwara is Patanjali's yoga. And then Purva Mimamsa is Karma Kanda, ritualism. Then comes theistic theists who believe in Veda also, believe in the non-dual reality also. And that is Uttara Mimamsa, which is Vedanta. So Vedavyasa Rishi compiled the Brahma Sutra. See, there are sutras for all this. Patanjali has Yoga Sutra, then Sankhya Sutras, Vaisheshika. They all sutras are there. Philosophy is given in that. So, what does Uttar Mimamsa believe? There is only one absolute reality. That one absolute is appearing as all this. And that is the essential nature of the Jiva. That one is appearing as three. Jiva, Jagat, Ishwar. All are expressions of one pure consciousness alone. It is not that God is separate from the world or the creature. It is not that God is the ultimate truth and the jivas are one part of it. No. Jiva and Brahma are essentially one. And this is the main purpose of Vedic knowledge, is what Advaita Vedanta clearly establishes. And so there are these two different types of divisions. If you see in the chart, one division is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So generally people follow this division. Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Purva Mimamsa, Uttar Mimamsa. 6. Shat Darshan, when we say we have 6 schools of philosophy, one belief is this. Orthodox belief. And then the next belief is what is written here as A, B, X, Y, D, A, D, B. So materialism, Buddhism, Jainism, then Tarka Shastra, philosophy, Purva and Uttar Mimamsa. This is more elaborate if you see actually, because in this all the 6 schools of philosophy are included, plus materialism, plus Buddhism, plus Jainism. So totally how many? 9. So Shat Darshanas are these. Down what is given 6. This other classification has all the 9. Whichever one accepts, doesn't matter. One is Vedic, one is non-Vedic, one will say. Not Vedic actually, one is orthodox and one is heterodox. What is the point of knowing so much? Is we should identify where we want to belong. Which means I should know, I should think properly. That do I really believe that ultimate reality is a product of matter? Which is what the schools of thought, Tarka Shastra school of thought will say. Or do I believe ultimate reality is a blank or a shunya? Which is what yoga will say. Or do I believe that ultimate reality is different? That is what Sankhya will say. Or I believe that ultimate reality does not exist, but there is only loss of nature. So you do action, you get result. So Purva Mimamsa believes that. And there's nothing called fulfillment. You keep going to heaven, coming back, keep going to hell, coming back. That's all. Or I want to believe that it is Kshanik Vijnanavad, if consciousness is flickering, or it is a nothingness. Which one do I want to follow? Because what will make me fulfilled is what I have to follow, that path. If I believe in it, then I have to choose that path. But if I say no, ultimate reality is one absolute truth beyond BMI, it is only infinite, and there is nothing else apart from that, then I follow Vedanta. Each one has the freedom. The beauty in our culture is each one has the freedom to follow what they want. Can I change in between? Suppose it doesn't satisfy me. Let me try Buddhism, or let me try, Charvak philosophy. If it doesn't appeal to me, in between, can I change? You can change, no problem. Our culture doesn't say that now that you have started as a Charvak, you have to die as a Charvak. In this Janma, you cannot change. Nothing. You can change anytime. That freedom of thought is there. Now you just see one more point here. If so much freedom of thought is there, that right from a materialist to a Advaitin, all schools of thoughts are accommodated, can there be fundamentalism or fanaticism in Hindu culture? There cannot be. Inherently, Hindus are flexible and secular. We are not fundamentalists at all, because you can, now you just see Charvak person does not believe in God, does not believe in Veda, he is still accepted or not? Does one say that you are not believing in my scriptures, so get out of my religion? No, you are also part of our culture, only you stay here. No problem. Because majority will be Charvak only. And from there one will slowly evolve. According to one's time, experience, karma, so many reasons are there. One will evolve. So you be there, don't worry. Right from a Charvak to a Advaitin, every part of this culture. That's the beauty of our culture. So now this much was about the 6 schools of philosophy. This is only a small glimpse. Even when we studied in a Vedanta course, we studied some of the technicalities, but ultimately we decided, dekho bhai, we have to follow Advaitic school. So better learn Advaita more than who is doing what, which different schools of thought. But it is interesting if you actually, all these schools of thought exist even today. We may not call ourselves Naiyayikas or Tarkashastris or Vaisheshikas or Sankhyans, but the same schools of thought exist even today. Like I said, people believe in science, believe in cause and effect. They will not believe in God, but they will believe in cause and effect. That is Purva Mimamsa. They will believe the ultimate reality is matter, atom. That is another school of thought. Like that, all the different schools of philosophy, they exist even today. So this is not some time in the past, Vedic time, it must have been there. But Kanad Rishi's time, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, those are all not only time bound. They are schools of thought which exist even now. Only challenge is how much are we able to think properly and then choose. See, very strange it is. When we want to buy something, 50 things we will do. One simple phone, if I want to buy, what all will I do? What are the features of that phone? How much will that phone cost? In this site, it costs this much. In this site, it costs this much. But if I buy in this site, will it last for long or will it not last for long? Is it second hand? Is it first hand? What is it? And then ask 20 people and then put one comparison chart also. iPhone 11, iPhone 11 Pro, iPhone 10. What is the comparison? Then see. For buying a product, so much we do. But philosophy of life, one doesn't examine only. If my friend tells me Charvak philosophy he is following, I'll also follow. What is the goal of life? What is the means to it? Is that what is my temperament? So much has to go into it, then start following it. Even after choosing the one, in that there will be a lot of categorization. Which one do I have to follow? That I should know according to my temperament. So this much is about philosophy, and the idea of it is to just expose you to different schools of philosophy, to understand what is there, the diversity of thought, and to encourage us to explore and find where do I belong. Don't simply say I belong to Advaita philosophy. If I say I belong to Advaita philosophy, then I should also know why I belong to Advaita philosophy. No, that is how I got exposed to it, so I am belonging here. I must be convinced about that. The strange part is that, that Advaitin, I wouldn't say Advaitin, a person who is studying Vedanta, if that person has not thought through properly and not understood Vedanta properly and just following it, then in a debate between a Charvaka and a Vedantin, student of Advait Vedanta, the Charvaka fellow wins. Why? Because he has not understood properly the Vedantic standpoint. The person who is following is not very clear about it. Which is what happens most of the time. When we do a debate between God, whether God exists or God doesn't exist, the believers who say God exists, they lose. Because the non-believer has thought through much detail, which the believer has not thought from that standpoint. Believer is believing because he is believing. God is there. Why God is there? Because so much creation is there, so God is there. Or because my parents onwards, grandparents onwards, my whole family is believing. Or millions of people are believing, so how can God not be there? Some reasoning they will have. And the non-believer will strike out all those reasoning, fat. So now this so-called believer will wonder, what happened? Now God exists or God does not exist? That one should not do. That's why one has to study. One understands, okay, I have made a conscious choice to follow Vedanta. Today that is same thing is happening with Buddhism. Just because one is the chanting and then some desire is fulfilled and then everybody comes together and then the groups are there, and what Buddha walked out of is all happened in Buddhism. But that one has forgotten. Ritualism has come into it, idol worship has come into it, desire fulfillment has come into it. Sectarianism has come into Buddhism or not, Hinayana, Mahayana, and then within that Vajrayana and Falana Tikana. So many sectarian sects of Buddhism also. Theravada Buddhism, kitna? That human mind is going to divide only. So I should first find out which one is as a philosophy, which one is the appealing one. But they are very complicated. I thought only Vedanta I have to study. Now I have to study other schools of philosophy also. If you want to buy the best, you have to do some investment of time and energy, no? Otherwise, what will happen? Complete confusion. Conviction will come only when I have done proper study of at least the fundamentals. That what is the philosophy saying about I, the Jiva? What is the philosophy saying about Ishvara? And what is it saying about the Jagat? That much basic I should know, then I can clearly choose and then stick to that choice. Because having made the choice out of clarity, then one should just stick to it. So this much is about the 6 schools of philosophy.
The child, when he's born, becomes, he sees the environment where he's born and he chooses that only. But he also doesn't know.
See, no doubt the environment influences, but as one grows, one's own thinking also is there, and the ability to explore is there, no? Which one should explore. Like Buddha did that, no? Buddha was born in a Hindu family, but he walked out of Hinduism because he explored. So one should explore. Vivekananda ji, he was born in such a highly religious family. The mother used to every day worship Vireshwar Shiva. So she named Vivekananda ji also after that Shiva, Vireshwar. And she used to call him by, the pet name was Billy. But he went into that mode when, as a young person, he went into Brahma Samaj. So Brahma Samaj doesn't believe in form. So he says, no God, no form. Means no form, God with form. Only formless. So born in a Sagun Sakar, he went into Nirgun Nirakar. And then again when he came to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he started understanding. So we may be influenced by our environment. Prahlad was born in a Charvaka environment. Not even Charvaka. Worse than Charvaka is the Asura. Charvaka will not destroy and kill for enjoyment. This Asura will not bother. Asura will destroy and kill other schools of philosophy and will want only theirs. So Hiranyaksha said, Hiranyakashipu said, worship only me. And if you don't worship me, I will kill you. And he tried to kill Prahlad also how many times? So environment plays a big role, no doubt. But one has to start using one's own vivek also, which is what majority doesn't do. And so then one becomes unnecessary, either a blind follower, or at some point one will rebel saying that this is all not making any sense. It is not making sense because you have not applied your mind to it. If one starts applying the mind to it, whatever is non-essential, whatever is not appealing, one can reject, but take what is appealing. Or find something which is appealing and take that. So it is how it is. And just because somebody is born there doesn't mean that person is destined for that school of philosophy. Maybe some karmic reasons with that group of people that the person is born there. Because if that was true, then there would not be any revolt, revolution, nothing. But that is not what we see.
Not related to this topic, but we were just discussing why there's a following of one god too much in that area. Like Lalba Karaja, people just go stand in a queue. But Ganpati Mandal next door, there's nobody there. When we say God is everywhere,
Correct.
The same. It should be there, but then there's a lot of asta.
What's the logical answer to this?
There is no reasoning in that sense. It is belief of people. And most of the time it will be desire fulfillment. As simple as that. What they will say, ये भगवान बहुत पावरफुल है. इनके पास जाओगे ना, तुम्हारी इच्छा पूरी हो जाएगी. अरे भगवान is same. Whether you worship here or worship there. No, ये भगवान थोड़ा weak है, वो भगवान ज़्यादा powerful है. I am not joking. This is what they say. I know this happens in our temple itself. In Pavai Ashram, there is behind Shivji's Murti, there is Ganesh Bhagwan. So one day I heard that conversation. I was doing Pradakshina. That lady was saying, ये गणपति बहुत पावरफुल हो गया अभी. पहले इतना मेरा इच्छा पूरी नहीं करता था, अभी बहुत पूरी करता है. Now there are 10 people standing there, and one of their belief pattern is what? ये गणपति के सामने एक coin चिपकाओ, अगर वो टिक गया तो तुम्हारा इच्छा पूर्ति हो जाएगा. Now they have created on their own. Okay, so then this coin sticking was happening from, at least from the time I've been seeing it when I went to study Vedanta in 98. उसके पहले से भी होता होगा, I don't know, but I have been seeing. So every time we see, there will be round marks of coins in that whole wall. So when we do the renovation or whatever, repainting that whole thing, so we have tried how many times, 100 things. At one point we have put even the plastic acrylic sheets and all that. They will jump, they will climb on each other and put, and if that acrylic sheet ke andar wo phas gaya to say, ha, ho gaya. Now this is all human being created. Bhagwan's power, where it becomes less or more, is a different matter when we say that, when Samashti comes together and they invoke, there's a power in the Samashti. Not Bhagwan's power becomes more or less. So in a temple, when thousands of people are coming and worshipping, the vibration, the energy there will be such that when we go, our mind becomes quite faster. But that doesn't mean Bhagwan's power, this Bhagwan's Murti has become more powerful now, this is blessing more. And this Bhagwan's Murti where nobody is doing any ritual, that Bhagwan's Murti is weak. No, that is all human being. It's full herd mentality. Yeah, that's why this herd mentality is very terrific. If you study now this whole psychology, mass media, this whole subject now. So many things are devised based on the mass psychology. So if you want to reach mass psychology, you have to approach in a certain way. You want to reach individual, you have to approach in a certain way. So this is mass psychology. Desire fulfillment is what will reach the masses. So if the word spreads now, so they call na Ichha Purti Ganapati. Matlab, what do you mean that other God is not fulfilling? Are God is one? No. Is the Murti giving you anything? I am tuning up to supreme reality. Murti has its own significance, no doubt. People coming together has its own significance, no doubt. But this is the logic people apply.
Sometimes some temple has some vibrations.
That's because it is invoked there. Prana Pratishtha is done, some Mahatma has come there, invoke the energy there. And then as I said, collective energy, so people keep visiting, so the collective energy there is great. Okay, so people follow all those things. So then they will go there.
Collective energy is not only for fulfillment of desire.
Yeah, that's exact. So collective energy, it depends on how you use it. You can use it to be free from desire also. But more important, so tell me one thing, what is more important, more powerful, collective energy of individuals or the divine energy of the Lord? Divine energy of the Lord is what is manifesting through each individual and forming the collective energy, but divine energy is much, much more powerful than that. The idol or the murti is symbol of divine energy, which I am trying to tune my mind to the divinity, the state of divinity. I am not trying to tune my mind to some collective energy there. Collective energy there helps me to tune my mind to the divine supreme Lord. And when that desire has to be fulfilled according to the laws of karma, it will get fulfilled. My going there, praying for it is a part of my purusharth, no doubt, which I should do. But just because I went there, this got fulfilled faster. So now this God is more powerful, and I have been going to my regular daily temple. That God is not fulfilling my desire. How do you know that? That energy that is built up in you by going regularly to this temple is finally culminating here when you are going to this form that you have not thought sometimes. You see, so people don't think many of these different things. They will just go by hearsay. And the best part is at the end of it, they say God is one or many. God is only one. But this God is less powerful, that God is more powerful. Same Bhagwan ka form. It's just their thinking. Their belief, that's all. Unless somebody has, so there are both these. Now one is the belief, by common belief, masses believe. Other is, as you said, the energy is invoked there. But even in that case, does a Shankaracharya say that this is more powerful? Shivji's linga is there in all places. Jyotirlinga, we give special importance to Jyotirlinga. But do we say Jyotirlinga has more power to bless than the ordinary linga here? Nowhere in the scripture it will be said like that. Yes, Jyotirlinga, daily worship happens, people go there. So proper, disciplined rituals are done, everything. So obviously there is much more energy power there. But divinity is same, all pervasive. It's like sunlight. Simplest example is sunlight. Sunlight is all pervasive. But solar cell will invoke that sunlight, harness the power of sunlight much more. So then you say, okay, here, can we say that in that place, sun is very powerful here. Here, sun is very weak. If somebody says that, then that is confusion. The power of sunlight is everywhere. You invoke specially in this one particular place. So where those things are being done, there is still a reason to believe. But today in many of these places, it is a belief of people. Proper day-to-day puja, ritual, this, that, where. That doesn't happen in a lot of places. And one just believes. You see, majority throng to the Lord's temple for what? Fulfillment of desire only, no? Another example for that is Sai Baba. Majority who go to visit Shirdi Sai Baba temple is for what? Fulfill some desire, no? And they have the Shraddha that because I worship Baba, my desire is fulfilled. So now they are going there. You will see Shirdi Sai Baba temple in so many places. On the streets, every street will have one. But why go only to Shirdi there? Baba is fulfilling your desire. You have faith in Sai Baba. Invoke also. They will worship Baba in other places also. But Shirdi will have a specific significance. Did Baba mention anything about Shirdi? I am asking because I don't know. How is Shirdi become so powerful? Oh, it is his samadhi? The temple is his samadhi. Okay. So then that's the Shraddha of the devotee there. The samadhi is there, so it is more powerful. Baba would not have said, put me here and then. So bhav of the bhakta only. And there also the bhav of the bhakta is because it fulfills. Same thing you apply in Tirupati also. If the desires don't get fulfilled and if the word starts spreading, no, ki now power of this Baba is gone, then they will start finding somebody else.
About Shirdi also. Many people say Shirdi mein bhi power nahi hai. Many people have started feeling that. Yeah.
Now you see that. That's what I'm saying. So it's a herd mindset. Apart from certain invocation which is done, apart from that, it becomes herd mindset only. In so many places, it is how it would start very small, no? Then slowly the build-up happens, and now it is like, array, this is so powerful. Earlier, it would be not even 5 people must be going there. Slowly, the crowd will increase. So one person goes, 5 people go, 10 people go, then some desire is fulfilled, something good happens to them. So then they will say, now he is becoming more powerful. Now 100 people go. In 100, minimum 20 will fulfill desire will happen. Those 20 will spread the word. So another 200 will go. So it will slowly increase. I'm not denying that divinity, the power of divinity to bless. But I'm saying that logically speaking, it is the same power everywhere. You sit here and invoke Ganeshji, who is here, and tune the mind and pray to the Lord. Will that have power or not? It will have. But then why do I have to go to the temple then? That's because I want to train my body, my senses, and also do a samohik puja and experience the vibration there. So that's a different matter I go. But that does not mean that this Ganeshji is less powerful, that Ganeshji is more powerful. That though is a belief pattern only.
There is a temple here, Shani temple, on ST Road. There was a time, there used to be big queue. I have heard because people start right from 4 o'clock. Nowadays it is free, you can go anytime. Otherwise Saturday from morning people used to.
Why? Because now that temple, people said no power is there in the temple. The perceptions are tremendous. How people's perception changes is terrific. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.